Welcome to Wednesday Night Live from the Basement. Here's your hosts, Rob, Daryl, and Joe.
Well, sort of. It's Rob and Daryl. There's no Joe tonight. We have Brian. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Substitution. Pretty good. How are you guys?
We're doing all right.
Yeah.
Doing all right. I think Joe is off having adventures with his wife, doing some kind of cattle roping I saw on Facebook earlier today. So not real cows, but like those sawhorses that have horns. He was trying to rope them. So.
Really, that sounds very Western to me.
Right? And it did not look like he was meeting with great success. So,
oh man,
who knows? Who knows? Trevor, how you doing, man? Apparently, we're the Canadian cartel.
Wow.
I'll take it.
And Richard, how you doing, sir? Welcome.
Hello, Richard.
So, what's up with you guys? How's everything? Daryl, you're back to work teaching kids, and I'm sure they're all thrilled to be back.
I'm back teaching the youth of the future.
And are you scared?
Can I claim the fifth?
Am
I scared?
Amendment here, but we'll
go. I mean, there's pros and cons either way. You know, there's some stuff that I think should be left at the door. I think it's going to ruin them, but I think that there's other good things. You know, I think that our teachers probably said the same thing when we were in school. Damn these kids! What are they going to do in the future? And
little did they know we would grow up to be famous YouTubers. Adored by tens of people, most of which are our family that don't watch our videos.
That's correct.
Yeah, exactly. I'm slightly offended, Trevor. You're commenting how you love Brian's shirt, but I'm actually not wearing a T-shirt for once, and apparently I don't even get a nice shirt. Screw you, man.
Well, it served the purpose. I imagine I will wear it frequently in the future as I move along, for sure.
It worked. I'm just kidding about the screw you, Trevor. I'm just being a smartass. So, what do we have to talk about? Brian was at a Jays game and they shit the bed, which was very disappointing. Right.
It was great to be there. The atmosphere was great. They opened the roof partway through, so that was nice because it got a bit stuffy, and then it was nice, cool evening. It was great. They started strong and then did not end strong. So
we blew a 4-run lead, and we were leading by 1 going into the top of the 9th, and we brought in our closer, who's known for choking, which is exactly what you want in a closer. And he shit the bed and gave up 2 2-run home runs. So,
that sucked.
There you go. Record Hound, welcome. How you doing?
Hello.
That's got to be kind of probably a short trek for you to get down. Do you take the subway, or can you walk, or what's the?
We were prepared to bike down, but it rained as we were. It was raining as we were leaving. So then we went on the subway, and then realized it stopped raining. So we should have cycled because that's like a 25-minute bike ride.
Oh, piece of cake.
On the subway, I guess it was like half an hour. Well, actually, there's a walk at the end because depending on which subway station you get out at, you have to do a bit of a walk.
Right.
So probably a bit longer than that. And then, of course, you have to navigate through the stadium to get to the 500 levels where we were. So.
Right. Well, that's the only place normal people can afford there nowadays.
Exactly. And this was a part of a group purchase from people, as Cecile knows. So it was $36 a seat, which was pretty good, I have to say. Yeah.
Is that the first time you've been there since the renovations?
Yes. Yeah. And we didn't.
How did you enjoy the experience? Because everyone has said it's a completely different ballpark now. Everybody kind of raves about it nowadays.
Well, I think it's really hard to say because we just went to our seats in the food area. We didn't actually get to, not everything's been done, right? So as far as I understand it. So we didn't actually get to the newer sort of renovation area. So I understand they're quite cool though. I just haven't seen it.
Gotcha.
So, but it was, it's good.
At least I'm glad to see that prices of tickets at the Jays games aren't as crazy as the corporate Leaf seats.
Well, they are if you get.
Well, they're getting there. If you're down at the bottom, they're expensive.
Yeah. You got some.
Yeah.
But you're right though. Leafs tickets. I don't even look at what those are.
A true Leaf fan stays home.
Right.
Not even.
Yeah.
I've had so many friends that live in Barrie, Orillia, places like that want to go. They've been wanting to go to Leaf games for years, and they can't get seats because all the ones that you see that are open and available are just purchased by corporate companies that don't have people sitting in them.
Yeah,
thousands of dollars a ticket or whatever it is.
It's insane. There are J seats that are getting to be like that. So.
Oh, and then don't forget the Raptors. That's insane prices for them. Like we went a couple years ago and we were way back in the back and it was still more than I was comfortable paying. But if you're down near the floor, it's outrageous.
But if you're willing to pay those prices, wouldn't you be able to sit like near Geddy Lee?
Yes, that's correct. You could.
Yeah. I had a friend that bought Geddy Lee from Rush has season tickets for the Jays. So when you're watching it on TV, he is 3 rows back and he's about 4 seats from the left-hand side of the TV screen. Yeah. He's not there always. He's there about half the time. And he always has a hat on and has his hair back and his sunglasses on. So he's not instantly recognizable, but he's always, he's there. And I had a friend that sat in that section a few seats over from where Geddy Lee's are, and they bought the ticket. It's like the TD something lounge. Yeah. And they said it was once in a lifetime because they were hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. And they're like, we're only going to do it once in our lifetime. So
it's like an Oasis ticket.
I don't want to go there. Okay. I'm emotionally scarred that I didn't, I could have.
A friend of mine, I found out yesterday, went to see them. He got a free ticket through a friend of his. So that was pretty amazing. So
I sat home and I was miserable. Well, we were on Chris Mann's, thing, and I was, trying to make the best of being emotionally traumatized that I wasn't there, but it is what it is.
Oh man.
Yeah. What did your friend think of the show? Were they an Oasis fan or just kind of a casual?
No, he's a fan. He's a big fan. He enjoyed it. He quite enjoyed it. But he'd also seen Neil Young twice the week before, so he's been on this circuit. But yeah, he said it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the general consensus. Yeah. So. Alex, how you doing, man? Hey, you want to join us tonight? We got an empty seat here. If you want to join us, let me know and I'll shoot you the link over email. Saigo's Bladders, welcome. How you doing?
Evening.
Hello.
And Alex, if you do join us, you have to show some Def Leppard because we're talking 80s tonight. So, Well, it was cool that you got to the Jays game. I haven't, guilty as charged. I'm a Giant fan, but I haven't been to a game since 2012. It's been a long time. Not for lack of wanting to go, but it's such a pain in the ass to get there, and it's expensive.
Right.
And I don't have a lot of time, and mainly downtown is a pain in the ass.
And then you
I can't remember if I've ever told you this story, Rob. The last time I was at a Jays game was JP Arancibia's first game when he hit those 3 home runs.
Oh, wow.
I was at that game, which is crazy.
I remember watching him play. He played for them back in 2011, 2012, I think. He was the catcher. What's the music connection with JP Arancibia? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, no.
He married Kimberly Perry from the band Perry.
Oh,
that country band. She's that smoking hot blonde.
Speaking of marriages, I didn't want to bring this up right away, Rob, because I don't want you to lose your viewers.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Taylor? What about Taylor?
I mean, I'm happy for her. The wife texted me the thing yesterday when I was busy working, and I ignored it for 3 hours because I was busy. She's like, "Did you hear the news?" I'm like, "About what?" She goes, "Taylor and Travis are engaged." I'm like, "Good for them." I mean, that's not a giant surprise, and I am happy. I'm going to send you an email here, Alex. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to send this to Alex and get him to join us.
So I'm assuming Taylor Swift is not going to change her name to Taylor.
I would imagine probably not. He should change his name to Travis Swift.
Yeah.
Sent you the email there, Alex. I think it's good. It's admirable for him that he is. I mean, how do you happily essentially play second fiddle to the most famous person on the planet?
Mm-hmm. Now let's hope that they don't either break up or get divorced, because we might have another Carly Simon situation on our hand. She'll redo You're So Vain or something like that.
Who knows? But, also for her, I mean, she's not that she's dated an inordinate amount of people. I mean, we've all dated lots of people, but hers have all been public because she's such a big celebrity. So, good for her that she gets her happy ending. I think it's awesome.
Yep.
And if it can't be me, it might as well be her. And it can't be me because I'm happily married anyway. So
that's good going.
Yeah. So, good for them. Good for them. I'm going to watch the wedding? No, I don't give a shit. I'm just, my wife's all like, she's all in all the gossip and everything. And I go, hon, unless it's something about the music, I couldn't give two shits. I really don't. But she's into all of the like, Taylor did this and Taylor did that. And I go, don't care. Don't care. I like looking at her and I like listening to her. That's kind of the extent of it. Maybe in that order. I don't know. So. What's Richard saying? He's saying something about baseball. I was at the playoff game that put the Rockies into the World Series. Well, by the way they're playing, Richard, it's going to be a little while before they make it back to the World Series. I think they've pretty close to been eliminated at this point, even though there's still 30 some odd games in the season. Aren't they having the worst? Weren't they? Last year, the Chicago White Sox had the worst record in the history of baseball. And I think Colorado's giving them a run for the money for the worst record ever, I think, this year. So let's see how far they are back. Just out of curiosity. Let's have a look. Not to make Richard feel worse or anything.
Oh, but the biggest Colorado fan is probably Morton.
Yes.
Morton is Dodd, so
that's true. Speaking of Morton, I don't know if you guys heard about what happened up in my neck of the woods, but there was a Norwegian dog sledder that was trekking through the north of me, and they just found his body. They figured that he drowned in a tide going towards Manitoba.
Wow.
It's all over the news up here. I guess the family has like a GoFundMe page to try to get his body back to Norway.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Didn't know about that.
Yeah. That's why I wouldn't do a dog sledding trip through all those remote places.
When did this happen?
They found him just the other day.
So you're saying missing. you already have snow? Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
Is there already snow up there?
No, he came up apparently when there was snow, and then he was doing like some backpacking through to get from like.
Okay.
Well, I think the last known sighting of him was in Fort Severn, which for our friends if you don't know, that's the northernmost community in Ontario, which is right on Hudson Bay. That's crazy that he got all the way there, and then they took him in, and then he left, and he was trying to get to the Manitoba border, and I guess his two dogs survived. That's how they knew he was missing. One of his dogs actually managed to get to another community somehow, and they realized it was his dog.
Wow. That's crazy.
Whew.
Okay. So, Richard, I'm sorry. The Colorado Rockies, as of today, are 37 and a half games back of first place. And if they won every single game and the leader of their division lost every single game, they still couldn't catch up because there's only like 30 games left in the season. So they're all but eliminated from the playoffs. Sorry to hear that, Richard. That's brutal. They are 38 wins and 94 losses already.
It's impressive in a kind of strange way.
Good Lord.
Now, how many wins did Chicago have all last season? Because they must be close to that.
Well, let's have a look, just out of curiosity. I have to go to Chicago not next week. The following week, we won't be doing our thing because I have a business trip to Chicago. So let's see. 2024 Chicago White Sox. They were 41 and 121.
Wow.
Well, Richard, I guess, your team could still win at least 5 games.
Yeah. They could probably win 5 in the next 30, I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. That's abysmal. That's a winning percentage of 253. Wow. Richard, I'm sorry, man. At least their tickets are really cheap. Yeah. I probably bet all you'd have to do is walk by the stadium and they just throw them at you.
They're paying people.
Like when you're in Vegas with those hooker cards, they just throw them to you.
They're paying people to not buy the tickets.
I guess. I would go to just see the visiting teams, right?
Yeah.
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 Trevor's got company over, and he'll catch the replay later. All right, Trev, have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in. I sent you the invite, Alex, so I don't know if you got that or not. He's probably pulling some records now, so that's what's new in baseball. Any music news to chat about? No.
Apart from Taylor Swift getting engaged.
Glad she's got a new album coming out.
I have heard this. Yes.
And there's the main one, and then there's 6 variants already.
Wait, so are you gonna do buy the variants?
No, absolutely not. No.
What if there are different tracks on them?
There's not.
There's not.
There's not. I think she learned her lesson because she did that crap with the last record. So she had 4 different variants, and each one had 1 different track on it. Yeah. And that ticked me off because I'm like, I want those tracks. But then she came out with an expanded edition, which had like 38 extra tracks. And it included, there's 38 altogether, another 24 tracks, and it included those 4 that were spread among the variants. So you can get it. But a lot of people were like, you know what? It's getting a little bit nuts. We want the music, but it's a bit of a cash grab. So,
right. Yeah.
I think she learned. So now they're just colored variants, and the covers look different. And the actual vinyl themselves look very cool. There's one that's like a bloody splatter mucus kind of thing. It looks, I know it sounds disgusting, but that's literally what it looks like. Someone, and it actually looks pretty cool. And then there's like a purple one, and they look very cool. But I'm not one of those crazy people that I don't need 7 copies of the same record.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless it's the Beatles, that's a little bit different. But I'll just buy whatever one shows up in my store. So
yeah.
No music news here either.
I mean, the other big news is that the Beatles are reissuing the anthology.
Yeah, I've heard this.
I have already recorded the video. I haven't edited it yet, but any guesses what my opinion is on that?
Thumbs down.
It's probably, it's not thumbs down. It's kind of, I think it's a cash grab, so I'm not going to buy it. And it's just kind of a way to make people buy shit that they already have. So there's the book and the movie and whatever, who cares? I have all that stuff anyway. But all I really cared about is music. So they're reissuing volume 1, 2, and 3, remastered. Do I care that it's remastered? Not really, because most of those songs are demos, outtakes, live performances. They're not the finished product. So do they really need to be remastered? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. That's not why you listen to them, right? But they've added a 4th volume. And Beatle fans like myself have been excited about what that could be because there's still stuff in the archives. There's this song called Carnival of Light, which was a kind of a sound collage kind of experiment that was publicly aired once, and that was it. Never been released. Well, maybe that could be on there. It's the 60th anniversary of the Shea Stadium concert. So they could use Peter Jackson's demixing technology to take the crowd noise out and remaster Shea Stadium and then put the crowd noise back in at a lower level. They could have done that. They never issued the full remastered Rooftop concert. They only did like a couple of the songs. You could get it digitally, but not on physical format. They've never issued the full Decca auditions. Peter Jackson owns the Star Club tape, so he could have worked his magic on those. None of that happened. So volume 4 is just like, take 7 of And Your Bird Can Sing. So there's 26 songs on volume 4. 13 of them have already been released as part of those various super deluxes that came out. So there's only 13 unreleased songs, and they're just random alternate takes of songs like And Your Bird Can Sing or Words of Love or whatever. So nothing new, but you can't buy it individually. You got to buy the whole box set. Hey, Alex, how's it going, my friend?
Oh, a landline?
Yeah, man, I got a landline. You want me to answer it?
Yeah.
I would. At this hour?
Hello, it's me. Hello. Oh,
No, it's spam.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Telemarketer. There you go.
Shocker.
Probably wants air duct cleaning or, an energy efficiency audit or... That's why we still have a landline, right? So we can get phone calls like that every day.
That's right.
This is high ratings, right? Someone answers a landline on a YouTube live stream. You're not going to see that stuff every day.
I convinced Cecile to get rid of ours years ago because the only people who ever called were telemarketers and her mom. So we don't need it.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know why we hang on to ours. We have it, and I don't know. I don't use it. It sits on my desk, and I answered it. And invariably, it always rings when I do a lot of video calls like this for work. And invariably, it rings when I'm on like a video call for work. So, Alex, how you doing, my friend? What's going on in your world?
Hey, I'm good, man. This is what happens here. I'm sitting here on a Wednesday. I guess it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
I finally had I had a free evening, and I'm like, Alex, you got 7 videos you got to record. Right? I got my Google Doc of you got to do this, you got to do this. So I start pulling stuff, getting in the mood, all that kind of stuff, and then I was like, oh, Rob's streaming. I'll pull that up. And then you're like, yeah, you want to join? And I'm like, what? I definitely don't want to record any stupid videos. So yeah, Right.
So, I'm glad to help you procrastinate, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, that's yeah. But hey, the reality is once it starts feeling like work, then what are we doing? Well,
that's kind of the rut I'm in. That's why I've cut back my videos a little bit. It's not as the video production end of things is a little dragging these days. So
sure, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it's been a while, and I know we've been trying to get up here, and always a good time seeing Brian and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Bonner Richie, how you doing, my friend? Anthology box, it is a cash grab, absolutely, and that's what my video is going to say on Sunday, which is echoing what multiple other people have already said. Like Richard, fuck no. Record on says I got all 3 when the vinyl was released. Maybe I'll grab the 4th. You can't grab the 4th unless you buy the box set. Yeah. They're not coming out individually.
This might have been made for me because I don't have any of the first 3 volumes on any format. So maybe I'm the guy that's supposed to buy it.
Well, and there is that component too, right? For folks, because that was shockingly 30 years ago that those came out.
Oh my Brian's God. Looking for Hey Bulldog instrumental version, take 18.
Of course. Scott, how you doing, sir? Welcome. So I like the Beatles, but I'm getting a little bit tired of hey, let's spend $500 on this thing that you already have.
Yeah.
I had the same thoughts when they redid the Red and Blue album and unnecessarily threw tracks on there that didn't need to be on there. So What are you going to do? Should we dive into this here, guys? Should we hop in the DeLorean and go back to 1985, see what Marty's up to? I only say that because literally at my house, we watch Back to the Future every day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, every day.
I tried to get the kids to watch it, and they just said no. They watched the first 5 minutes and left the room.
My son who's in the other room, just heard me say Back to the Future, and he's standing in the door of my office dressed like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, freaking out that I'm talking about Back to the Future. So, yeah. So, nothing sophisticated tonight. We just figured we'd talk about the 80s. Why? I don't know. Probably because I watch Back to the Future 5 times a week. As my son goes, yeah. And I don't know if we've talked about the 80s in a very, very long time. So we knew Brian was coming on, and Brian probably has more 80s records than just about everybody. I would think.
Is that true?
But they're also going to be different than everybody's too. Something tells me Brian's not going to show Slippery When Wet,
That's a good guess. I'm actually not sure. I just pulled a bunch. I'm not even sure what I'm going to talk about. So that's a tough.
There's going to be some post-punk new wave.
I might surprise you.
Dark wave.
Sure.
Give us the dark wave.
Whatever that is. Usually when Brian pulls something and it describes it, this is, and I go, I don't even know what that genre is, let alone what the artist is. Which is why I love having Brian on, because it's so interesting and eclectic. And I go, I don't know what you're talking about 97% of the time. So,
well, you know what? I think I went a little more mainstream this time, I got to say.
Ooh. So there might be, you're going to have some Leonard Cohen in there? Maybe?
No, I didn't pull any Leonard Cohen.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to put Alex on the spot as our last minute guest. You can go first, sir.
Yeah, I just went and took 5 minutes and just grabbed random 80s records I could think of that I liked, and maybe a little bit of a theme of sorts, but not entirely. Let's see what I want to talk about. Do I want to? There's part of me that wants to start first and steal Brian's pick. Would that be? Is that Brian? Can I still
go ahead? Go ahead.
Well, this is a top. Probably this is a top 3 album from this artist, and it slides in barely in 1989. And I know this is an artist who I know Brian is a huge fan of, and I absolutely love this record. Kind of part, maybe a bit of a trilogy of albums, and who knows if Brian was actually going to talk about it, but he'll at least appreciate it. But I'm going to go with New York from Lou Reed.
I didn't pull that one, but I thought about it.
You thought about it. So Lou, I always say this. So I am a pretty big Lou Reed. I say pretty big Lou Reed fan. I have almost everything. I think the only thing I am missing is I almost called it Countdown to Ecstasy. No, it's just Ecstasy. And like the Hudson Wind Meditations thing. I was so distraught and depressed during the holidays. This is how bad this was. I was so distraught and depressed during the holidays that I actually bought an original Metal Machine music. And it's just, I mean, it's like this rare thing, whatever. But Lou Reed is like a complete enigma to me. And this is where Brian and I probably completely differ, is he's almost this artist for me that's hilarious because I really, really like him. And I don't know why. I cannot identify why. Like he's not a great singer. He's not a great musician. Maybe he has moments where I'm like, that's a brilliant line. And other moments I'm like, why are you, the red joystick? It needs to go. There's a lot of these moments where I'm like, and honestly, it's kind of the same with like a lot of the Velvet Underground stuff. I'm like, I don't know why I like this. There's nothing that is appealing to me about this, but I like it. I just absolutely like it. Now, this is a record I absolutely actually love. And, latter career, I guess you could say, when I said before, kind of part of like that trilogy or whatever, you had a couple of other records that came out after this that were significantly more, I guess, deeper, sadder, more powerful, Magic and Loss, all that type of stuff. But this is kind of more of like the upbeat, quote unquote, happy record, whatever you want to call it. Nothing is really happy with Lou Reed, but this is up there with one of my favorite Lou Reed records. It'll always be Berlin for me as my favorite, but this is probably 2 or 3. Love this record a lot. So, Brian, I know you probably have thoughts.
I think that was sort of a renaissance for Lou Reed, that record.
Yeah.
I think that kicked off his later career. I think that's absolutely brilliant. There's not a bad song on it. I think it's, the one that came before it is Mistrial, right? So it was a song or an album that has half of it's pretty good and half of it is sort of weak. I still love that record though, but it all came together with that one. And it's sort of, for me, you after that you have songs for Drella with John Cale, and you have Magic and Loss, which I think they're excellent. They're just brilliant, so good. Yeah. And I think that Set the Twilight Reeling and Ecstasy are equally good. Mm-hmm. So I think his later period for me is oftentimes my favorite period.
Yep. Totally. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have Lulu either.
I'm gonna give Rich the star. This is the comment of the night. I laugh when people say they got a mint copy of Metal Machine music. A worn copy is rarer because nobody played it.
Well said. For those, if everybody's out there that doesn't know, I mean, this was, I'm sure, one of those classic, contractual sort of obligation-y sort of, I don't know the actual origin of this, but it's just noise. It's just feedback. It's just, but like anything else, there's been like this revisionist, whatever you want to call it, of people that are like, this is absolutely brilliant. This was reissued for Record Store Day, and people were, Brian probably picked it up, but
I had it in my hand. I put it back. I think the people who bought it are people who don't know what it actually is. They think, Lou Reed. They don't know what it is. I could be wrong.
What are your thoughts on his 90s stuff? Like when he did like the Lost Highway, he was doing this magic moment, and he's actually got this magic moment, and it's on the Lost Highway soundtrack, along with like Marilyn Manson and Rammstein stuff.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard it. I have that soundtrack. I haven't heard it in ages, so I can't.
I don't think I've ever heard it. Yeah.
It's just funny to know that he was doing all of this stuff, and then he actually was on a soundtrack with Marilyn Manson. And Rammstein. Like the guy's just all over the place, eh?
Yeah.
Well, then there's the Metallica thing, Lulu, which is quite interesting. But
Okay, Brian, you're up next.
well, I have a perfect tie-in because I was thinking of Lou Reed. I considered showing New York, but I actually pulled this record out, which Alex alluded to, New Sensations, because I think if there's a record that could be said to be Lou Reed's fun record, this might be it. I know, here's the red joystick that Alex was mentioning. I think this is a fun record. I played this. This might be the Lou Reed record I played the most over the years because I think it's so fun, because you have, I Love You, Suzanne, which I think is great. My red joystick is kind of a weird song to be sure, but there's so many. All I can think about is fun. Now, I did the Lou Reed ranking, but I can't remember what I said about this record in that ranking, so I might contradict myself. But I don't know. I just think he seems to be having fun. He's talking about riding his motorcycle. He's, up to the Delaware Gap. He's stopping for a burger and Coke. I just think he was having fun in 1984. This is 84, right? I think he was having fun because he doesn't seem to be a guy that had a lot of fun. A lot of his songs are really serious. Even on New York, they're really serious. Like Good Evening, Mr. Waldheim, and Dirty Boulevard, and all those things are really serious songs. He's got a reputation for being really serious. And I don't know if there's parts of Mistrial that are not as serious, but this might be the record where he seems to be having the most fun. So I've always loved it. Like New Sensations, the title track, I think is a classic Lou Reed song that everyone should know. Turn to Me, maybe not as good, but High in the City. I just think it's fun. I mean, it's kind of a crazy cover, though. It is a crazy cover, but I've always really enjoyed it. So that's all I'm going to say about New Sensations.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Richard's saying Lou Reed adjacent. Laurie Anderson's 80s output is exceptional.
True.
Okay, Daryl.
Well, I definitely don't have a tie-in. I don't have any Lou Reed, so I'm not gonna. That wasn't my choices. Although it's funny, I should just go to my CD case and show the Lost Highway soundtrack.
I do love your shout out to you and Rob when you do like the connection videos. Those are brilliant. Like those are
They're
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, they are fun. Yeah,
We're due for another one of those soon, I think.
Yeah. This so what I've done, I think I grabbed 12 records, but what I did was I just chose one per decade and then a couple of random ones at the end. So I'm starting with 1980. I don't talk about country music very often because I really don't listen to it, but for whatever reason, this record here, I don't think my dad had it, but I remember my dad listening to this type of music. And for whatever reason, in this community that I live in, if you go to like a local dance, they always seem to end the dance with Taking My Life Away or Riding My Life Away, Driving My Life Away. So it's the Eddie Rabbit record, and it's got I Love a Rainy Night on it, but it also has Driving My Life Away. And for whatever reason, they close dances up here with Driving My Life Away. So this is Eddie Rabbit's Horizon album. And it's a promo copy.
Ooh.
I don't have too many of those.
There's probably more promo copies than the actual record.
Probably. And actually not only is it a promo copy, but it's got the hole in the top too. So this was a discount promo that probably wasn't supposed to be sold in a store. Hey, what can I say? But
you're sitting on a gold mine there, Darryl.
This is going to be worth millions on eBay in a few years. I like Eddie Rabbit. His life was kind of cut short by cancer there in the 90s and all that. I think he was 55 or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's kind of just good old get in your car, drive down the highway, and listen to some country tunes if you're into that thing. But I don't have a lot of country, but I'll keep that one. It's a $5 record, and I can say I have a promo copy. There we go.
Would you be surprised to learn that I'd never heard the song you were talking about? The last
which one? I Love a Rainy Night or Driving
No,
My
not
Life
what I've
Away?
heard, but whatever the driving song. I've never heard it.
Yeah, it's called Driving My Life Away, which it's kind of like a sort of drinking song, I guess. I mean, it goes with, I guess, ending a dance, but if you listen to the lyrics too, it's kind of like that country music in which you're like drinking your life away, essentially. Is
You have to listen to country music.
Yeah. It's good though. I mean, if you like that early 80s almost crossover country, it's good.
Rich is saying, I don't think anyone's shown Eddie Rabbit in the VC, and Rich is going, but Doug from the Auditory Vinyl has shown some.
Oh,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
You're not trailblazing. All right. Let's see what 80s gems I picked here. Hold on. Let's get the StreamYard's still a little glitchy with the toggling of the screens here. Okay. I mean, I'm showing this in honor of Joe, who's not here this evening, because this is Joe's favorite artist. But I'm not showing the one that everyone is expecting. We're going to show Bryan Adams' self-titled debut.
Oh.
And if you pay $1 for this, you probably overpaid. I mean, I know it's not cool. I do like Bryan Adams, but this album is not very good. Not very good. I didn't even know it was released in the U.S. I guess it probably was later when he, when Cuts Like a Knife blew up and it was massive. Mm-hmm. This was 2 albums before Cuts Like a Knife. This came out in 1982, I think. This was after he left Sweeney Todd and became the Bryan Adams that we all know and love, looking like an absolute not a rock star there. This had one minor hit on it in Canada. Do you remember what it was, Brian?
No, I have that record. I played it once, so I don't remember.
Remember. That's what it was.
I didn't
remember the night we spent together. You'd know it if you heard it. Oh, Hiding from Love, I think, might have been a hit too. Mm-hmm. But we're talking minor hits in Canada. Like if it cracked the top 50 in Canada, I'd be shocked. But I guess it was enough to, for A&M to let him release a follow-up record, which was You Want It, You Got It, and had a couple hits on it. So,
yeah.
I don't know if you ever see this in the States. Probably not, because
I didn't even know that was an album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find it in every flea market you go to. It's there. You find it in a lot of garage sales. It's around, and it's
real. I wonder though if it's like a more of a Canadian thing.
Probably,
because I'd be surprised if it even. Now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole of if it, when it was released here and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, take a look. But yeah, I see it all the time. Pretty darn common. But I figured I'd show it. Just why not? We've all seen Reckless, and who gives a shit about Reckless? Let's show this gem. Richard is saying
it's a $5 record here in the States too. It's okay.
Yeah, and that's yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know.
What's Richard saying? Record on definitely crossover. Radio played the snot out of those 2 songs. Okay, so it's not just my imagination. Cool. Mm-hmm. Couldn't remember if they were both. I mean, I was too young because when this came out, I was like 3 or 4, depending on when it came out. So that's that. Caught up in the comments, so we'll go around again. Alex,
all right. Let's see. What am I gonna poll this time? All right, let's go with a little bit of a. This is kind of more hilarious, the story, although I do like the record. We'll stick with like the awakening, I guess. This is a band who had been around, at this point, almost 20 years. We're definitely not only past their prime, but their previous record especially was just absolutely terrible. So when this came out in, I think, 1986 or 7, it actually became significantly more well known, famously for beating out Metallica for Best Metal Record at the Grammys, and the record is "Crest of a Knave" from Jethro Tull. So the record before this, it's called Under Wraps, and it is just like beat your head against the wall bad. You know, it's like sort of like the full, you know, it's all drum machines. There's very little guitar at all. Even though like the longtime guitarist said it's like his favorite record, I don't really know, but it's pretty bad. And they had sort of been on like a little bit of a downward trajectory for a number of albums at this point. But this actually was a pretty great comeback. It's almost unfortunate that it became known as like the butt of the Metallica Grammy jokes. You know, for those who, for a number of reasons, those who don't know, this beat out Injustice for All, I think, for metal album of the year at the Grammys. This is not a metal album. This is still fully Jethro Tull. I would not even call this a hard rock record. But it's almost unfortunate that it became so known, especially later, for that kind of that butt of the joke, right? You know, even Lars at some point when like the Black Album from the 91 or whatever got released and he won a Grammy, he even said something like, "Boy, thank God Jethro Tull didn't release a record this year." And so it's fascinating, but it is a pretty solid record. And again, a little bit of a kind of a comeback for them. Steel Monkey's great. Budapest is great. She said she was a dancer was great. So a decent album, not necessarily a classic, but I think a upper echelon Jethro Tull record. And again, just kind of the funny story about beating Metallica at the best heavy metal record of the year. The other kind of technicality with that nobody really understands is that, you know, I think this got released again in 87 and Justice for All got released in 88. Like, and then it was like the 89 Grammy. It was like, it made no sense on how like the actual Grammys are. It's not like the Canadian Grammys. The what do you call them? The Tonys?
Junos. Come on.
Junos.
Tonys.
The June bugs. So yeah, this is oh, look at that. See, as we showed the promo earlier, this looks like this was like an RCA record club issue. Those are fun. Yeah. So there you go. Jethro Tull, Crest of a Knave.
Right on.
Very good.
I think you're right. I mean, I haven't heard that album, but just putting Jethro Tull in the same scope as heavy metal like Metallica seems kind of
right.
Yeah. I don't know how they were put in that category.
Yeah, and truthfully, I would love to actually go and like read, because I'm sure it's a lot of like things that people have just made up along the way. You know, for example, I think it was technically like hard rock / heavy metal. I think it was also the first year that they did that specific award. Mm-hmm. And so I don't even know who the other nominees were, you know, like it was probably not like Death or, you know, all these like super heavy bands, but yeah, just hilarious story.
Richard's pointing out that so far the best album shown tonight is Lou Reed, New Sensations. I can't speak for the other guys, but I know there's some more gems coming. So, you know. Rich says being nominated for a Grammy's a red flag. Yeah, it can be. And Grammys are not about what's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Brian.
Right. So we'll go right to the end of 1989. I didn't know until I looked it up that this was released late October 1989. And I think it's one of those records that you kind of sit up and take notice of because I'm talking about 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine, right at the end of 1989.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, the first time I heard the name of this band, 9 Inch Nails, I was incensed because I was remembering the band The Nails, you know, 88 lines about 44 women, let it all hang out. I was thinking they stole their name. Well, they didn't really steal it, but it's like, you can't use the word nails. Anyway, but the first time I heard, I don't know what the first song I heard on this record was. Had like a hole or I don't know what it was. Terrible Lie, Down in It, something like that. I was immediately captivated. I wanted to know what it was. And I thought it was really, this is obviously a reissue. I don't have an original, but this record, I think is fantastic. Interesting sound. Never heard of Trent Reznor until here. I guess this is the first time he'd ever done anything, right? So I don't know. I just thought it was really incredible. And although I'd heard other things sort of like it, I think this was I don't know. I don't have much to say about this except that it really sort of captivated me. And when I first heard it, I thought it was really interesting, really aggressive. And I've played this quite a lot. So I don't know.
I think that album, Brian, is almost like one of those. Because Skinny Puppy is almost like unpalatable for some people, but that's almost like an intro industrial record for a lot of people, other than maybe Minnie's Rape and Honey.
Yeah, that's in the land of Rape and Honey. Yeah. That could be right. It's certainly melodic. It's not like abrasive music on this record. You know, it sort of has melody and that kind of thing. So I just found it really interesting. Probably more accessible than Skinny Puppy. You're probably right about that. So yeah, I don't know. I just found it really interesting. Yeah, didn't say much.
It is a good album. Head Like a Hole is an amazing song. It's, yeah. Because I think he went where after that? That was Downward Spiral. I think was the next one.
With Closer, that got a lot of attention, obviously because of the lyrical content. But yeah,
and the video.
That's right. Yeah. So.
Hello to a few folks tuning in, the CD Cave and Curtis from Young LP Lovers. Welcome.
Hello.
Richard's saying I was hooked on that 9 Inch Nails album and I loved it.
Yeah.
And Scott's saying first time I heard Head Like a Hole was at my drummer's wedding reception back then.
Wow.
A good reception song.
That's right.
I guess. Okay. Daryl.
All right. So Alex, I may need your help a little bit on this one, but I mean, when I talk about this, to me, this is almost like the last, say, proggy record by this band. All through the 70s, I mean, they released all kinds of proggy stuff, but then they kind of became more like soft rock or just pop music. And that's Genesis's Abacab. To me, this is a fantastic album all through. Abacab is actually my favorite song on it, but for the longest time, I always thought that it was just some made up word. And then I found out that it's just like, what is it? Basically how the guitar plays or whatever in the song, just the notes.
Right.
That's what Abacab means, I think. But no, it's a great record. And possibly, like, I guess I'm okay with the Genesis going forward, the soft pop and stuff. But I know that for a lot of Genesis fans, I mean, this is the last, I guess, true prog record maybe that they did. It's not even really prog, just a few songs on it. But I thought I'd give Genesis its due. I've shown some other Genesis stuff. My mom listened to all the mellow, sappy stuff that Phil Collins was doing and all that kind of thing. But I think that this is a great record. I hate trying to take it out of these ones that have the stickers, the tape on it, but
the flap.
But I mean, No Reply at All is a great song.
Great song.
That there's no real other hit tracks or singles on here other than Abacab. But I mean, if
Man on the Corner was pretty big down here.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just a very cool album. In the sense that it kind of is a weird transition between this one and what comes next. I guess this is more, I don't want to call it heavy, but it's heavier Genesis than I suppose the rest of the 80s is going to be for this band. And I mean, there are some drum machines and stuff. Well, not drum machines, but more that 80s sound. But I mean, previous to this, I mean, Selling England by the Pound and Duke and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is a very different sound than that coming from Genesis. And I thought I would give it its due because you don't hear about this Genesis album too much in the VC. It's there, but arguably maybe the crossover between what Genesis was and what they became. And that's Abacab. So I don't know if you have anything that you might want to add to that, but it's not one that I throw on too often, but I think it's cool stuff.
Well, and I know Brian did a semi-recent, what was that, maybe 6-8 months ago, Brian, you did your Genesis ranking. I enjoy that era of Genesis. I think they melded, these kind of really catchy pop songs with, there's still prog and these epics and all this different stuff. And the way that they were utilizing sound in the studio was great. Do I still prefer the, 70s Lamb and all that type of stuff? Sure. But like that's perfectly good with me. But I would just add, and I would assume Brian would agree if he has more to say about it too, is that, there's a big leap between that and We Can't Dance, or even that and Invisible Touch. When you get to that era, that's when you were like still confused when I hear some of the songs. I'm like, I don't know if this is Genesis or Phil Collins.
Yeah.
They were so the same at the time. So.
Yeah, I kind of find the demarcation line to be Duke, though. I mean, I think that is the record that sort of, for me, ends the Genesis prog era. I mean, after all, on Abacab you have the Earth, Wind, and Fire horn section on No Reply at All, which is a little strange. That's what makes it seem almost like a Phil Collins song.
To me.
So, actually, I might have mentioned this in my Genesis ranking. Sometimes we're in the car and a Genesis song will come on from this era, and Cecile never knows if it's Genesis or Phil Collins. And I don't blame her, because how unless you were a fan, you wouldn't know. I mean,
yeah, especially with songs like that. Yeah,
No Reply at All. It sounds like a Phil Collins song. So, but it's a good. I do enjoy that record though, except for Who Done It, maybe. That track.
Do we dare? Do we dare bring Rich up here so he can tell us everything we're showing is shit? Should we do it?
I mean, he would share that.
Right, he would. Everything that we're showing is
I would just say no public links after what happened to Sam and I the other night.
I don't have Rich's email. That's the thing. So
yeah.
Rich, to prevent hacking, send me an email. northernrevolutions@gmail.com. Send it to me right now, and then I'll send you the link. I'm not going to post a link in the comments because Sam got hacked the other day. I'd rather that not happen again.
And
that was not me, by the way.
And that was you.
It wasn't me. We think we know who it was, but we'll just leave it at that. So yeah, Rich, if you want to join us, we'd love to have you, man. northernrevolutions@gmail.com. Of course, I guess anyone now has my email, which is in the start of all my videos anyway. So what the hell does it matter? It's all good. I'm going to show something. How about that? I'll shut up and show something.
Sounds good.
Let's go like this, and let's go like this, and then we'll click the 17 times because StreamYard is glitchy these days. Okay, we'll show this. This doesn't suck, but it appeals to small audience, which is me. So it's something I looked for a very long time. Tom Cochrane and Red Rider, the Symphony Sessions. So this was a cool recording that came out in 1989. So Red Rider did a session with what is it here? It's the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra in Edmonton, Alberta. So they did some of their classics and some, not really deep cuts, but, mostly hits, but some other ones as well, backed by a full orchestra. And it's great. So Red Rider, 80s, sort of top 40 rock. Didn't do a hell of a lot in the States. I think you might know White Hot or Lunatic Fringe, possibly.
Lunatic Fringe, yeah.
Yeah, so this is that, and it's really good. This record is really hard to find. I looked for it for years, and it pops up once in a while on eBay, not very often. And there was a guy had one on Marketplace for stupid cheap, so I drove over to his house that very day and picked it up. So it's a really good late 80s, early 90s kind of rock record backed by an orchestra, and it really works. Phenomenal record. So
and this is this would be a thread. And the same orchestra who backed Procol Harum during their early 70s live with the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra.
You are absolute good one, man. Mm-hmm. Good one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, is it me now? I think it is back to me, yeah?
It is back to you.
Let's do this. I just showed this on, I guess, a video. This is a fascinating one. I don't know if you all are like this. I'm sure you are. I'm sure a lot of people are, where, one would make the assumption that you're, or maybe they wouldn't. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, this is one of my favorite albums of all time. And I probably have 2 or 3 records of the band. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the band. They went through some different sounds, different eras, all that type of stuff. They don't have a huge discography. But something about this record I just love it. A lot of that is sort of my power pop passion, love, all that type of stuff. But then also where this band was coming from and the transition that they were in sound wise. Richard, I know that you are going to like this, but believe it or not, Alex is going to talk about The Replacements and the record Pleased to Meet Me. So, God bless you. And right on the landline, Rob. Jeez.
Keep the telemarketers away.
Wipe it down. That's right. Replacements, they started as kind of a, alternative punk band, really, from Minneapolis. And their first couple of records are that way. And then they sort of started moving more towards, okay, let's do some more serious songwriting. So then it went from kind of some, in your face punk to a little bit more, alternative, which, alternative music back in like 1982 or whatever. Then it went a little bit even more. Okay, now we're, we still have the punk attitude, but now we're moving towards more alternative and radio-friendly, accessible stuff. And then you kind of get to here, and it's just where that like perfectly matches. Couple songs, but the big song that's on here that a lot of people probably know is "Can't Hardly Wait," which is like a perfect alternative rock, FM radio, power pop masterpiece for me. But you also have Alex Chilton on here, which is a huge tribute to Alex Chilton, a big star in the Box Tops from Memphis. This was actually recorded at Ardent Studios in Memphis, which is where Big Star and all them were recording at. And so, yeah, this is one of my favorite records of all time. Definitely one of my favorites from the 80s, especially. And again, I own Tim, which is the record that came before this, which I also think is absolutely brilliant. And that might be it. I don't think I own anything else before or after this, but love this record to death. As you can see, actually, the album cover. Well, first, actually, Rob, this is a take on Elvis record, I think from 1960, a soundtrack. So it's playing on that. Yep. And then this is sort of representing the punk hand shaking the hand of the business executive. Representing that sort of transition for the band. But I love it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Rich is saying he can't get serious into the Replacements.
Or he can't get into the serious Replacements.
That's what I meant to say.
It's funny because, he's probably talking about like the early punk stuff, but or like the stuff that he likes is probably the early punk stuff, which I've never even heard. It's just not my wheelhouse,
Okay, Brian.
I hope no one can hear there's a washing machine going over there. Anyway,
you're good.
So I chose The Fall from 1985, this nation's saving grace, this incredible record from The Fall, led by Marky Smith, who has sadly died now, on Beggar's Banquet. This is one of my favorite records of 1985. It's just really terrific. I don't know. This is one of those cult bands. I have a friend who has, with a couple of exceptions, everything this band has ever released on 12-inch and 7-inch, which I find astounding because there's just so much. But I just love this record so much. It starts with this really great instrumental it's called Mansion. It's only a minute and 50 seconds long. It's way too short. I wish they had rounded out because it's really fantastic. It's just excellent. I Am Damo Suzuki, which is a tribute to Can, to the lead singer of Can. There's mesmerizing drumming in that. I find this record just sort of weirdly joyous, even though it's completely esoteric and kind of wouldn't be anything that would appeal to most normal people. But for some reason, I just think it's great. There's some hilarious moments, like Spoiled Victorian Child always makes me laugh. Paint Job, which is kind of this weird psychedelic song about painting. It's hilarious. I should have said, kind of a post-punk band. So I'm not like all in on the Fall, but I do love what I've heard. I guess their big breakthrough, if you can call it that, was they had a minor hit with Hit the North, but even that was over 30 years ago, I think. And the rest is just really obscure. And they sort of have this really intense fan base, and then many normal people have never heard of them. because he has sort of an irritating voice to some people. This friend I know, his wife won't let him play The Fall because Marky Smith's voice is so strange and so kind of irritating to some people. But I actually quite like it. He sort of sing talks kind of thing. So really interesting. Anyway, I recommend people check out that one. There's other records from them that people will recommend, but for me, This Nation's Saving Grace is fantastic. I just think it's wonderful. And a wacky album cover.
Rich is saying it's a band that you should check out. He never sees their records except for a live one now and again.
Yeah, they're hard to find for sure. This is an original UK from '85, but they're really difficult to find.
And Richard's saying somehow he has none of them, but their discography is huge.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
And I will be one of those people that haven't heard of them. So there you go.
Oh, all right.
I was going to joke. It's true. Brian, I'm an idiot because when you said it was This Nation's Saving Grace, I thought you were just referring to Canada. And so I assumed they were a Canadian band and that the record was just self-titled, The Fall.
Right.
So it took for you to say at the end that was the name of the record. Thank you.
So, Alex, are you saying did you know about this band?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised. Okay.
No.
Wow.
Brian's coming through with obscurities.
That's the most obscure one up. I think that's the most obscure record of the evening.
All
guaranteed.
Right. Okay. All right. Daryl.
All right. Well, we're going to go from obscure to definitely well known. I'm going to preface this though with kind of a story. So Rob, you've mentioned Parker quite a few times with playing the ukulele and Tom Cochran.
Yep.
We never captured anything like this on video with my daughter, but my daughter also used to do the singing and stuff. In what might actually, this is actually her copy because she left it here. And what's really funny is because my daughter's in her early 20s, but she used to listen to Duran Duran's Rio all the time. And she used to sing Hungry Like the Wolf exactly like your son would do with Life is a Highway. Just singing it around the house, running around the top of her lungs. But I mean, I know that there are some people, I mean, they don't like Simon Le Bon and his voice or maybe his sort of ego, maybe in a way. But I mean, this is Simon, I think, in the band almost at their best. I mean, this is Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf, Save a Prayer, which is probably one of my favorite Duran songs. And, you know, by the time the 1990s hit, you know, they're doing all kinds of different, I mean, radio hits and stuff. But I mean, to me, I think this is a fantastic record. If you haven't heard it, you know, front to back, it's really good. And for some reason, I mean, I don't listen to it all the time, but for whatever reason, for the same sentiments that you have about Parker, I mean, every time I hear Hungry Like the Wolf, it's just, that's my daughter. And on a side note, my daughter also likes John Denver. And the only reason she likes John Denver is because when she was in high school, her math teacher let them pick a playlist on their iPod during exam week. My daughter forgot to click. She forgot to click the repeat button. And so John Denver's Leaving on a Jet Plane, I think it was on repeat for an hour.
Oh,
so yeah, no, Rio's a great album. I have my own copy, but this one's my daughter's. And in fact, it's in way better shape than the one that I own. I'm almost tempted on just like swapping, but you know, I can't bring myself to do it, even though she'd never know the difference. But yeah, fun times. But yeah, I like Duran Duran. I think some of their later stuff gets a little bit bleh, especially when you get to the, you know, once they're in the 90s.
And I won't cry for yesterday. That's
enough, Alex. I don't need a copyright strike. That was so good.
But yeah, I mean, and I remember watching Peter Noon's My Generation on VH1 or whatever, and he talked about the risque video there that Duran Duran, one of the, what was it?
Girls on Film.
Girls on Film, yeah. And they went from Girls on Film to Rio, so that's a pretty, not a big jump, but it's a pretty neat jump. I think it's their best album myself.
Rich is saying that that's an underrated record, and now he's going to go watch the Dodgers. I'm looking forward to my Jays beating your Dodgers in the World Series, Rich. So you go do that. And Rich, absolutely anytime, man. Love to have you. I got guests for the next couple of weeks, but I got your email. I'll shoot you a message, and we'll do something in a couple of weeks. That'd be awesome. Love to have you on. Richard is saying that's the best Duran Duran album in his opinion. So there we go. All right, my turn, right? Yeah, my turn. Let's do this, and then let's get StreamYard to cooperate. Come on, StreamYard.
Yeah, you're giving you trouble over there?
There we go. Okay, I'm doing a twofer because I can, because it's my show.
It's your show.
And it's a soundtrack, but it's not Grease 2. All right. Phenomenal movie, great soundtrack. We're going to go Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh, Jesus.
What do you mean, oh, Jesus?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. You believe that?
Oh, it's fucking fantastic. Brian, you've seen this, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
Rob's going to fire us all. He's like, you're all
seen it?
I believe I've seen it. I think I saw it when I was a kid.
Okay, so
yeah.
And yes, the second one I'm going to show is Eddie and the Cruisers too, but we're going to get there. So this is actually a really, really good movie. Came out in 1983. The premise of it is it's a band set in like the 60s, and Eddie Wilson, this fella here, played by Michael Paré, is the lead singer, and they have this giant hit called "On the Dark Side," which is actually a really, really good song. We'll get to the original material.
Yeah, I remember that song.
Right? And the premise of it is he records a new album, the label rejects it, he can't handle it, and he kills himself.
Jesus.
Hold on.
Okay.
And it's kind of like it's set later on, but it flashes back to the events, and it's the band talking about, Eddie's death and whatever. And it's really well done. Good movie. The music is phenomenal. They wanted to use Springsteen's music. Richard, I can show Grease too. I see you in the comments over there. I can go pull it, and we could talk about Michelle Pfeiffer singing "Cool Rider." I'll talk about that every week because it's the hottest thing ever on vinyl.
Oh, boy.
So they wanted to use Springsteen's music, but couldn't get the rights or whatever. So they found a band that sounded like Springsteen. It was John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
That's right.
And they did kind of like, if you ordered Springsteen off Temu, you'd get John Cafferty.
Yeah.
They're actually really good. I have a few John Cafferty albums, but I thought I'll show Eddie and the Cruisers. So one of the guys that plays the saxophone player in this band, it's supposed to be Clarence Clemens. It's a black guy playing a saxophone in a band that sounds like Springsteen. But the guy that plays the sax player in the band is actually the sax player in John Cafferty and Beaver Brown Band. So if you like Springsteen, this is kind of what it sounds like. Early 80s Bruce Springsteen. It's really, really good. And then they came along in 1980 something. 1989 and made a sequel. Would you guys like me to spoil the plot for you?
Yeah.
Well, I already did because it says Eddie lives. Turns out Eddie Wilson faked his death, and he's been living this whole time working as a construction worker in Montreal because he couldn't deal with fame
just
and the
like Michael
rejection.
Jackson.
Couldn't deal with the rejection of this brilliant masterpiece that was ahead of its time. And at the end, he makes a triumphant return. And he comes on stage with the other band, and he's like, "I'm Eddie Wilson," and it's great. It's cornball, but it's fucking fantastic. And the music, and again, John Cafferty and Beaver Brown Band. The big song off here was "Running Through Fire," which again, it all sounds like Springsteen, and it's really, really good. They're fun movies. Like, they're not cinematic masterpieces, but they're not garbage either. They're
I gotta watch
movies. I like them. I like them a lot. I watch them a couple times a year. Fantastic. So there you go. Can't believe you guys haven't seen them before.
Yeah, now I feel bad. Yeah, similarly, again, it's funny that the premise of the band was like, we're trying to find a Bruce Springsteen, but we can't. Like we're trying to get that, but we can't. Because I remember, growing up when I would first hear those, like it was just a reasonable assumption that was Bruce. Like, and then yeah. Yep.
Let's see some comments here. I might, Richard. Maybe I'll pull it up for you before the end of the. That sounds terrible.
Yes.
I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Okay, at least the music on Eddie and the Cruisers is excellent. Okay, so Richard's seen it and he's got my back. Never seen the movie, but awesome album. Yes, agreed. Absolutely. Okay, let's go around again. Alex, you're up.
Okay, so I'm going to do a video. It's one of the videos of like the 7 I have listed. I've been putting this one off for a while, and it's actually, I think it's a good idea. Who knows if it would be? It's not necessarily a thread, although feel free to make it one, Brian. So, I'm part of it. I was like, don't steal my idea, but then I'm like, just do it. But it was sort of, I've been ruminating on this idea with certain bands, and actually, it kind of goes back to the Genesis conversation a little bit of when we have these bands that, somehow managed this perfect combination of like artistic expression, where we look at that record and we're like, they were at their best. These are the best songs. This is the best writing, etc. And then also had like the huge commercial success, because there's a lot of times we like bands and we're like, oh, I love them until they went XYZ, right? Like I like the earlier stuff and then they sold out or that sort of thing. And so it's kind of riding on this idea of what are some of those records where those stars sort of aligned, where the old head fans like it because it still contains all the stuff they love, but then it also was like a breakthrough or also was super commercially successful, and was able to get other people on board. So I'm going to show quickly 2 records that I'm thinking of. The first is songs from Big Chair. I mean, this to me does where it has like, it has the hits. We all know the hits, but some of the deeper tracks on here are absolutely incredible too. The Working Hour, I absolutely love. Obviously Head Over Heels, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Shout, all that type of stuff. It has all those mega hits, but there's still so much creativity and just great stuff all over that. And then of course, here's where I'll show my, and here's where it gets interesting. Rob, right, is commercially the most successful Def Leppard record by far was Hysteria, right? But I think also that's where you lost some people, and so I would go with Pyromania.
Me too.
Of that, because you obviously have the mega hits that blew them into superstardom. The story was they opened the tour. They were signed on to the tour opening for Billy Squier. By the end of the tour, Billy Squier was opening for them at Dodger Stadium. Like it completely changed the world upside down. But you have those huge hits, Photograph, all that type of stuff. But then you got the deep cuts too. You got Die Hard the Hunter is on here. Stage Fright is on here. All of these deep cuts. Billy's Got a Gun. All that stuff where it still has the old head Def Leppard fan. So to me, this would be the perfect sort of merging of those two things.
Couldn't agree with you more. Love it. Okay, Brian.
All right, let's go with laundry happening over here. The Pogues, 1988. If I Should Fall from Grace with God, right? Celtic punk or folk punk. If I ever want to paint a room, this is the record I'm putting on because it'll just keep me motivated. This was the first one I got, so other people will pick an earlier one as their favorite, but this for me remains my favorite because it was the first one I had. But weirdly, I bought it because I heard a track on the radio called South Australia, but that is not even on the record. It's on the CD copy only, so I had to get both CD and the record. And of course, I guess the most famous track on here is Fairy Tale of New York with Kirsty MacColl, of course. And I like it because it has a lot of energy. It has drinking songs about women. It has politics, so it kind of has everything, if you ask me. And it's just a fun record. I think it's really cool. I don't think there's a record I don't like, except for maybe Worms, but that doesn't really almost really doesn't count. It's at the end, and it doesn't really, you can just let that go. But I think it's really good. Hard to pick a highlight, but maybe the title track, Turkish Song of the Damned. I'm going to list them all. Fairy Tale of New York, Bottle of Smoke is great. Yeah, I don't know. Great record though.
That's such a good song. Obviously, the Christmas song that everybody knows about, right?
But it had some. I guess there was some pushback on that in later years because of the language in it.
Sure. Yeah.
I would just love to sit in an Irish pub listening to those guys.
Oh, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and of course he's dead now. The singer Shane MacGowan, of course.
Well, The Hurting is a fantastic album.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Scott's given us some of his favorite.
Wait until I post the video, Scott, and then you can do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. He couldn't help himself. Okay. Rick saying that's a list. It is a list. It has more than one item on it. Okay. Daryl.
All right. A few weeks back, we did an episode on wankers.
We did.
And I don't think we featured this particular singer as a wanker because I mean he's still revered. I mean he's a coach on The Voice and all of this kind of thing. And I mean I'm not ashamed to say that I own 3 or 4 of their albums, but I don't know what it is. I've always liked Culture Club. Boy George, this is a fantastic album, Color by Numbers. The only one I don't like is the last one they did in the 80s. It's horrible, but I mean, you talk about the deep cuts too, Alex. I mean, yeah, this has Karma Chameleon. It's got, Church of the Poison Mind, Miss Me Blind. But I mean, the deep cuts, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a great song. Black Money is pretty good, right? Mr. Man, Stormkeeper. I mean, these are great songs. I mean, I don't think this is the type of stuff you're going to be listening to day in and day out, but Culture Club has a place, and part of that new wavy scene. And speaking of which, I wasn't going to do 2, but if we're going to talk about new wave, I like Animotion. They're the ones that did Obsession. There's a song they did called Obsession.
Oh, what do you want me to do to make you sleep with you?
Yeah, but you want to know what's funny is that song there, it's okay, but this album is actually really good. I think it's completely underrated. Nobody talks about it. And I think the reason nobody talks about it is because if you don't like Obsession, you're not going to go, hey, I'm going to go listen to some. I'm not going to listen to Animotion because, I mean, just look at the band. I mean, but it's great. I think the whole thing is fun. The first side, I mean, yeah, it's new wavy, it's synthy, but it's just fun music. I think I did it kind of as a sequel with Culture Club because there's some weird stuff, but there's some decent stuff that's on it too. So hey,
I'll never forget that song is Animotion. I'd never heard, I don't think I ever knew the name of the group.
Yeah.
Daryl, I thought you were going to mention Fashion Television in passing.
Fashion Television.
Do you remember that?
I remember that show.
It's hard to forget that show. It's like that in the 20-minute workout.
You used to watch because every once in a while you'd see a nipple. So
Yeah, that's right.
when you're like 14, you're like, oh my God, I just saw a nipple on
That's right.
on my feed.
What do you mean? What do you mean 14? Sometimes you're 35, Rob.
45, whatever. Apparently that stuff's on the internet. I don't know.
And I'm not reading comments because I don't see them, but Richard's got to be a fan of Animotion. He's got to be. I don't know.
Type in if you are, Richard. Okay. I'm going to navigate here. Okay, I'm going to show a band that's very divisive. You either love them or hate them. And I think Brian is a giant fan of this band, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure. I think he's expressed his admiration for ABBA, I think.
Oh,
man.
okay, here we go. You know how I was telling you that my superintendent retired today?
Yes.
Well, they had her pick the song week for the school this week. This week is straight up ABBA week.
Oh,
absolutely fantastic.
I've been dying at school going, no.
Can you call in sick?
So you've got 2 haters. Alex, what's your verdict on ABBA?
I love ABBA.
I love them too. you doesn't matter. You could be in the worst fucking mood in the world. You put on some ABBA and you feel fantastic. Or if you're Brian, you kill yourself. Not literally, because you can say anything like, but you know what I mean, figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. This came out in 1980. Super Trooper. I have almost there we go. Scott is the man. There he goes. I have almost all the ABBA albums. I think I'm just missing the first one. That's actually their four surnames. Big ABBA fan. Love them. Love the hits. Love the deep cuts. There you go. Exactly. Super Trooper off here was the big one, but also Winter Takes It All, Our Last Summer, Lay All Your Love on Me. I love the song The Winter Takes It All because that's Bjorn writing a song that he made his ex-wife Agneta sing. And it is, whether you like ABBA or not, lyrically, it's a pretty powerful song, but basically says, you just fucking destroyed me. It's basically what the song says. And but the whole album's great. I think everything they did was good. The reunion album was a little bit of a snooze fest, but I mean, these guys wrote some of the best pop songs ever. Whether you like their music or not, the techniques they used to craft songs, I just think was incredible, and they really nailed that late 70s, early 80s pop sound. I think it's phenomenal, and I could listen to ABBA every single day. And
I did when I was younger.
Oh, did you?
And that's because of my dad.
The reason for your current.
My dad was the world's biggest ABBA fan. It was ABBA nonstop in my house, in the car, in the house. Oh, so it killed me.
You gonna give us some ABBA, Alex? Come on, sing some for us.
Oh, the options are endless. I was gonna say, I thought this was so fun. Y'all know the band, modern band Ghost.
Yes,
you've heard of them, right? Rob, I think you would actually love them.
I've heard of them, but haven't heard them.
So, long story short, they started their career like these like super heavy, doomy, scary, sort of things, and now they essentially make like music that sounds like Def Leppard. Like it's like pop metal, sort of thing. But I saw this because I just saw a tweet or something, or saw somebody post something the other day where they said the new Ghost album is like Black Sabbath and ABBA, and I was like, oh, this kind of actually makes perfect sense. So whenever you show an ABBA, I just thought about how funny that was too. So yeah.
Richard's got lots of ABBA. And Scott's saying Super Trooper is the best. Lay All Your Love on Me was a dance floor filler. There you go. I don't dance, but I can see that.
But if
let's not forget they influenced one of the bands, the first band I ever bought a CD of, and that was Ace of Base.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
know why I didn't learn from that.
I can see that influence. Yeah, not an Ace of Base fan, but I'll stick with the original.
I'll never get over the line. All that she wants is another baby.
Right?
I mean,
that's not the kind of girl you want to date.
Like I said, I come home all the time saying that shit. Right? I'm like,
I think I've said that sentence once in my life, and my wife said, "No, we've had one. That's enough."
That's it.
There you go. All right, let's go around the horn again. I'm quickly going to go say goodnight to my kids. I'll be back in 30 seconds. But Alex, you're up.
Sure thing. Thank you. Let's see. Where do I want to go here? Well, I'll do a quick hit on the theme I just gave. Again, Scott, better see your video. Brian would love to see your video. Daryl would love to see all of his videos. But I think another one, actually, this is funny, Brian, because when you're on the stream, Sunday, this band got brought up as you were showing Brian Eno. But again, the commercial perfection, but also like, the whole thing is Avalon. This, I love this record. This is one of those like super hype records that a lot of people always talk about. And I was like, no, man, like, give me For Your Pleasure, man. I'm a fan of the proggy Roxy music, man. And then I listened to this and I was like, this is, I think a lot of it too, and this plays into the thread maybe, sonically, this is just a perfectly recorded, produced album too, where it just all perfectly comes together. Great album cover, all of it is just perfect. So that was the real quick other kind of thing I was talking about. But what I will show here, because I always have to remind myself of this, for people who know me, know my favorite band ever of all time is Dream Theater, progressive metal band. And I always sort of forget, and I think a lot of people do too, that technically their debut record came out in 1989. And this is an interesting record. This is the only record they did with vocalist Charlie Dominici, who actually passed just a couple of years ago. They recorded this record, and then he was out of the band. And then for the whole rest of their career, even up to today, they've had the same singer. His voice just didn't fit the band. But it's interesting hearing a lot of these, hearing a lot of the stuff that were ultimately demos and all that type of stuff that they were doing back in 1985. In fact, they just finished their 40th anniversary tour. And I was sitting there going, 40 years, like you're known as like an early 2000s band. But it was sort of celebrating the formation of the band back in 1985, because what a lot of people associate with their debut isn't actually their debut. It's kind of like one of those, Brian, it's like a Warren Zevon situation.
Warren Zevon, yeah.
So this is the, whatever that blues sort of, Dead or Alive, is it? Wanted Dead or Alive? Is that what that is? Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what this is. So had to give them a shout because they're, my favorite band. And the singer is from Toronto. Actually, the singer's not from Toronto. He's from like northern Ontario, but not like Daryl, Northern Ontario, more like probably suburban Toronto. In fact, actually, Brian, I'm going to throw you back. I know you had a glam phase. I know you were big into Poison and all that stuff back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you remember ever hearing about, I believe they had to have been a Toronto band that fell completely into that but never broke, called Winter Rose?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Okay. So this is one of the funny things. So it was a 80s glam band, I think from Toronto, or at least from Ontario. And that was the singer in Dream Theater. That was his band before joining. And so I don't know. I think they released their debut on CD. I don't know that it ever actually got released on vinyl, but that would be a great record store day for me and my 5 friends to buy. So, there's that.
I'm trying to figure out where this guy was from. What was his name?
Oh, sorry. I'm making shit up. Hold on.
James
Labrie, yeah.
Penetanguishene.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Penetanguishene.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, he joined Coney Hatch? Anyway, sorry.
Wow, look at that.
Amazing. By the way, the Dream Theater cover was terrible.
The worst. Absolutely terrible. Yep. Yeah. Probably the worst of the night, yeah. This is record label not knowing what to do with this type of music in 1989 is what that sort of get branded by the logo, Brian. Get branded.
About a year ago, Drumeo actually had Mike Portnoy on there, and he did all kinds of sessions with them. That was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It was really good.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he even did Pull Me Under. I think that was one of the first ones he did because that was like their big breakthrough. It's the one I remember.
Yep, and that came off of Images and Words, which was released 3 years after this, and so it was that's a huge gap between that debut and then that record. Yeah. So
he did a Taylor Swift cover of "Shake It Off."
Yeah,
fun.
It was fun.
Was that the one where they do the whole "Have you heard this"?
Yeah.
That's right. That was funny. Yeah,
it was, and he actually did a good job. He's like, "This isn't a bad song." And there's a one line in there. She's like, the lyric is something like, "When you can get down with this sick beat," and when he hears it back, he goes, "Where's the fucking beat? There's no sick beat here." I go, "Absolutely, I'm a big Swiftie, but that song is horseshit." Okay, Brian.
Well, I shifted the order around. Again, this is a major noise coming through the dryer. I shifted the order around because Daryl said the word wanker, and I thought I would just do a quick twofer here because the next two artists have both been accused of being wankers by various people. And the first is Van Morrison, Beautiful Vision from 1982. And, this is one of my favorite Van Morrison records. I know that sounds really weird. If I were to rank them, this would be, I'm not going to do it, but it'd be pretty high. And it's certainly my favorite Van Morrison record from the 80s. And I had it first on compact disc, but just, I don't know, something about I know there's certain people in VC who detest Van Morrison, but even a pretty pedestrian song like Cleaning Windows is actually really engaging. I just love the way he delivers that. Dweller on the Threshold, Beautiful Vision. I think this is really good. And my favorite Van Morrison record from the 80s. And the other guy that sometimes gets accused of being a wanker is Sting. And for me, this is the best thing he's done, period. Apart from The Police. The Police were great. But Dream of the Blue Turtles from, I think, 85. I think this is a fantastic record. And even if you discount the 3 big singles, I didn't really care for If You Love Someone, Set Them Free, if that's what it's called. Yeah. Love is the Seventh Wave, fine. Russians, fine. But for me, the strength is in the other tracks on here. Children's Crusade, We Work the Black Seam, which I think is just this phenomenally great song. You've heard the rest. Moon Over Bourbon Street, Fortress Around Your Heart. I think this is really fantastic. And I'd say it's the best thing he's done after The Police. I think it's really good. Yeah.
I actually just picked it up. I picked this up like over the summer when I was camping.
Yeah. Really cool. Really great record.
Okay.
There you go.
Daryl, you're up.
Yeah. All right. So I think it was on Sunday. We were talking about The Boss, and I think it was Richard. He said, you could poll 10 people and you get 7 different answers as to which one's your favorite Bruce Springsteen album.
Yep.
And this one actually I recently picked up over the summer, and I hadn't really heard, other than the big tracks that are on it, but the entire album is fantastic. And I think I'm closing in on this maybe being my favorite Springsteen album, and that's the Tunnel of Love one.
Whoa!
I think is awesome.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like a Tunnel of
and
Love.
It's not just Tunnel of Love. Tunnel of Love is a great song, but like I've always liked Brilliant Disguise, but One Step Up is fantastic. That's a great song, and When You're Alone is a great song. Those are just side 2 is just, I don't know, man. It's a great album. Great, absolutely great album. And I think we've talked about this before where this isn't Born to Run. This isn't, Born in the USA. This is Bruce kind of doing his late 80s thing.
Yeah.
Getting ready for songs like Philadelphia and stuff, or On Streets of Philadelphia and stuff like that. That's that period between where he's not selling out. No, he's just making different, really good music again. And this is almost like the gap between Bruce of the 80s and Bruce of the 90s. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of out on an island by itself. It's not quite what came before, not quite what would come. It's just this weird little on its own.
I remember when I bought it, I bought it and I was like, nobody talks about this one. Everybody talks about it.
Which is why I pulled it tonight. I'm like, no one talks about it.
Nobody talks about it. And I'm like, why? Obviously, there's got to be something wrong with this album if nobody talks about it. And I throw it on. I'm like, wow, this is amazing to me. Like, one of my favorite Bruce albums now.
I love when you watch him in concert now, and Patty, because she's not in the band anymore because of health problems, but she comes out and they do Tougher Than the Rest together. Man, that's moving. That's good stuff. It's Bruce maturing. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay, my turn. Let's go here. Let's go here. Thanks for showing that, Daryl. It's one less I got to show. I got to show this for Richard. I'm not going to say anything about it, but Richard, this is for you, man. Everyone should have it. Okay. Speaking of albums of bands from the 80s and where people don't talk about this album much, I guess it's not cool to like Aerosmith after their comeback, their whatever. Mm. But I love that 80s and 90s Aerosmith because that's the Aerosmith I grew up with. So this Permanent Vacation from 89, 87. I think it's a fun record. You've got Ragdoll with one of my favorite songs. Dude Looks Like a Lady. Angel. Do a cover of the Beatles, I'm Down. But, I like even the stuff that aren't I love everything on this record. I just don't see anyone ever talk about it. I mean, it's not. There's nothing brilliant about it. I think it's just a solid rock record that doesn't pretend to be anything more than that. It's just a basic. This is what you would expect from Aerosmith in the 80s.
I'm actually so sad about that album because when I went into that old radio station and I obtained all those records legally.
Illegally, did you say?
There was a cover, a Permanent Vacation there with the record inside of it. And I was excited. I saw it. I was like, yes. And then I take the record out of the cover and I'm like, are you kidding? It was scratched. Like the whole one side was scratched. Like somebody freaking threw it across the room like a Frisbee. I was so just bummed out. I couldn't, because that's a great album.
I love it.
Yeah.
But it's not Toys in the Attic, but it's not trying to be Toys in the Attic. It's just fun. So Alex was talking earlier about, when bands sell out and a lot of people go, fuck that, they're commercial now. And I've never understood that. I don't see the correlation for me, from my listening. I don't care whether they're successful or not. To me, it's just, do I like the music? And, there's a lot of snobbery in the vinyl community. It's commercial. That means it's not very good. Who gives a shit? Do you enjoy listening to it? It's commercial. Absolutely. It's written for top 40 radio. So what? I still enjoy listening to it. Maybe that means I'm an idiot and I don't know anything about music, but I don't ever claim to be an expert. It's just, what do I enjoy listening to? So I don't understand if it's commercial, it can't be good. That makes no sense to me. So, and then Richard called me an effer. I don't know what blanks are missing from there, Richard. I don't know. I don't mind commercial. I hate when they chase trends. Yeah, I can understand that. That's a little different. Yeah.
Well, I think, the whole thing too with that era, and I certainly don't mind that era, right? Like I still, well, the Dude Looks Like a Lady thing, that was big in Mrs. Doubtfire, but it was big everywhere. But like, I don't mind that era at all. I think people, I bet you they get more upset, they get less upset about the change in sound or that commercial. They probably cling to like them using outside songwriters. Like, wasn't that like their Desmond Child era and all that type of stuff too? Which, like, whatever, people. I think a lot of music people, they get upset when their favorite bands are able to pay their bills. It's like you got to make some money, people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's it's not. They're not part of the best kept secret anymore. Maybe that's what it is.
Right. Yeah. Some gatekeeping for sure.
I love if all my bands made it. Great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, that sounds like your dryer there.
It is a dryer. My daughter came down and did laundry.
I can hear there's like a nickel or something, or a Canadian nickel. What do you call them? A ducal? What do you call the what?
Nickel.
No, what's the name for like 2 pennies or 2 nickels up there?
The toonie is a $2 coin.
Toonie and a loony.
That's right, the toodles. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Anyway, it sounds like Brian has a loony.
It sounds like she has rocks in the dryer, is what it sounds like. I can hear it probably better than you can. So,
you just don't put change in the machine because that's money laundering.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
One of my last ones, I think. I'm going to need to pull all of you here as we've talked about these album covers a lot. Mind you, we're in the 80s. So like one of my favorite things that people used to shit talk music, Rob, as you were kind of just relating to, is it's just, people avoid the 80s because of how it sounded or how it looked or all that type of stuff. Right. I just hate that 80s production, which I can understand that. But I need your help on whether we love this album cover or whether we hate this album cover. It's one of my favorite bands ever. This was their 3rd record, arguably their best. This and then the one that came after it. But it is the band Marillion, neo-progressive band from England with Misplaced Childhood. Okay. Thoughts?
Terrible.
That's like the never-ending story.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll show it again. Rob, what do you think? Does that look like your kid?
No, that looks like I don't know. It looks like Chucky's gay cousin.
All right, let's see what that looks like here.
I was going to say,
there's anything wrong with that.
it looks like someone got access to Photoshop and didn't quite know what to do, so they kind of did everything.
Yeah,
This is the 80s version of AI.
This is
It's
1985. Hey, and if it was like, people pay for the feet pics,
It's like when people got a word processor the first time and every note they wrote looked like a ransom note because they tried every font that was available to them.
yeah. That's terrible.
Okay, well, I like it. But you know what? Here's the problem. The record sounds kind of like this album cover looks. So I love it. You would struggle with it. Why? Because it sounds like the 80s. I will say, so Marillion never were ever as big as Yes or Genesis or all those bands or whatever. But, this part of this, they were sort of the kings of the neo-prog movement, which was essentially that third wave of progressive rock that really came not prominence because nobody cares because it's Marillion, but was more popular within that genre in the early 80s. So led by bands really like Marillion, IQ, Pendragon, some others. But yeah, super. This is a concept record written by the singer at their time, Fesh. I say Fesh because he's from Scotland, I think. It's about drugs and misplaced childhood and that little lizard-looking guy. So, but I love this record. I absolutely love Marillion. I love their old stuff, their new stuff. I love all of it. Still a band that's going strong, really strong today. And I know Richard's a fan of Marillion, but you know what? I'm going to enjoy this album cover in the most pedo way I can.
Any plans to come to Marillion weekend in Montreal?
I've always kind of wanted to, but that's such a tough. They never tour the States ever. It's the only show they do in North America is Marillion weekend.
I'm rendered speechless. I don't know what to say about that album cover. There's a lot going on there.
We've got to do an album covers show one of these days again too, because that's just funny.
I just like the front.
It's crazy.
You've got this little marching band dude with hobbit feet, and then it looks like Falcor off to the side.
That's what I was thinking. I thought Falcor was the clouds.
Right? But then what's going on in the clouds? And why does he have a bird on his arm? And why does he look like Chucky and he wants to kill you? And what's with the rose? Just a lot going on there. I have questions.
Yeah, reading Rainbow.
Right? Goodness.
Richard's comments.
Richard says it looks like Damien from The Omen. Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, Brian.
Talk. Color of Spring. So I find this to be a really sophisticated album. It's lush, I guess experimental in some ways. I found it kind of unexpected, sublime, organic. They dumped the synthesizers and moved towards more organic, real instruments like piano, guitar, organ, that kind of thing.
That would be a great entry of my thread, Brian.
And the voice, Mark Hollis's voice, is just ethereal. I mean, the first time I heard this was a friend of mine let me. He taped it onto a cassette for me, and I couldn't stop listening to it because I just was astounded by the sound they were able to achieve, like the soundscape, the everything about this record. I mean, it's just perfect in a way. It's really beautiful. I think I'd be surprised if anyone doesn't like it. It's got the big hit. Were they hits? I'm not sure. Happiness is Easy, Living in Another World, Life's What You Make It, etc. I just was stunned by this record, and I still am. It's one that I play from time to time. I have it on CD as well. I just think it's really, I don't know, it's really magical in some respects. And when did this come out? 86 or something like that?
Yep.
86. Doesn't tell you. But 86. Brilliant. I just think this is brilliant. And we're talking about album covers. I don't think I like it, this weird album cover, but it sort of tells the story of what the album is, I suppose. But anyway, really great album.
Brian, a band I need to, I don't own anything from them, but they're like you used a lot of really great words when starting to describe that record. And I was like, it's like ChatGPT over there. And so
Brian Julian Android.
but that band is like that's like the thinking man, like the sophisticated prog post-punk guy.
Right.
It's like the thinking man's like kind of, because like, was it kind of that, and then their next record that like there's a lot of prog heads who look at those as like masterpieces.
Well, sometimes people call this progressive pop, so I see where they're going with that, because it's not your straight up verse, chorus, verse, that kind of thing. It's a little, it's a little, I think more thought went into it. So yeah. So I can see how somebody who is interested in prog would like this. There's only 8 tracks. They're quite lengthy, so I think it's really great. Yeah.
The Blue Nile hat walked across the rooftops would be perfect for this theme too. Okay. I don't know that. Okay, Daryl, you're up.
Hey. All right. Well, we'll go to Australia here for this next one, but band that nobody talks about. I think it's because it's kind of that synthy, kind of industrial sounding, really. But I always wanted to do this. Like if I was ever invited to an interview with Ben Rankins and he ever asked me that question, oh, what do you think Ben Rankins would have in his collection? I think this is one that he might not have in his collection, but it's from Australia. And it's from one of my favorite movies of the 80s that nobody seems to talk about anymore. And that's the Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure. And that's Big Pig's Bonk. I don't know if you've ever heard this song, but the band Big Pig and the song Bonk. But they did a song called I Can't Break Away, which is off the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure soundtrack. It was the main single that was on there. And it's Iron Lung is a great song. Tin Drum. I Can't Break Away. I mean, it's just, I love the guy on the top there, though. His glasses are just. But I mean, I thought, for some reason, Brian, I thought I saw you pull this by accident one time. Do you own this one?
I don't own it, but I'm familiar with the songs you've mentioned. I've seen it, and I, for some reason, never pick it up because I do like the tracks on this, or the ones I've heard. I do like.
Yeah, it's almost this is like a really hard to classify. We talk about genres. This is really hard to classify because, like I said, it's almost like there's like some industrial undertones, but then there's the dancey vibe. Because I Can't Break Away is kind of a weird song, but it will always remind me of that. And Robbie Robb does a song that's on there too called "In Time" on the actual soundtrack itself, and it just reminds me of Canada's famous Keanu Reeves in one of his earliest roles, and George Carlin in the telephone booth. Ridiculous stuff right there. It's a fantastic album, and hardly anybody talks about it. But if you like synthy stuff from the late 80s, but it has like an undertone of industrial, I would seriously check that one out. It's a weird name for a band. There's no doubt about it. Big Pig, but
Big Pink
great
Bomb.
stuff.
Different thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott saying it reminds him a little of Oingo Boingo.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. One thing I don't talk about a lot is solo Beatles, because generally I don't give a shit, even though I'm a giant Beatles fan, except I love John Lennon. And so he had an album in the 80s. Double Fantasy came out in 1980, a whole like a month and a half, 2 months before he was murdered. He had sort of taken a self-imposed exile from music for a number of years and just wanted to be a dad to Sean and just live in New York like a normal guy. And he would. You'd see him walking through Central Park and people like, hey, John, and hey, live like a normal dude, which is kind of strange. You think, 10 years earlier, one of the most famous people in the entire world. But then he decided he wanted to get back into music in earnest and, had fallen in love with Yoko. And this is a collaborative album. So half of this album is good and half of this album is Yoko Ono.
That's right.
How it goes.
There are people that like Yoko. I am not one of them. I don't have anything against her personally. I don't know her. And frankly, I don't give a shit about her views on anything or whatever. All I care about is the music. And I just not the fork in the road I'm going to take. I'm going to go the other way. But the stuff that John has on here, I might say some of his best. I mean, just like Starting Over, because that's kind of what he's doing. It's just such an incredible song. Beautiful song called Beautiful Boy, which is about his son Sean, who was, I think, 2 or 3 or 4 at the time. The other one that I really loved was Watching the Wheels. Probably my favorite solo John Lennon song. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. It's kind of about how he has stepped back and he's just kind of watching the world unfold before him. Powerful stuff, some of his best music. And myself and I guess a lot of other John Lennon fans go, what could have been if his life hadn't tragically been cut short? You know, he might have the Imagine album was amazing and this was amazing. And you go, what maybe could have happened? We'll never know. You don't play the what if game, but really love half this album.
It would make a good EP, I've always said.
Yes. There's an interesting version that came out on one of the anniversaries where they did a stripped down version with basically acoustic versions of all of those songs. And again, you take the Yoko ones out of it and the John ones are just beautiful. Love it. Great. So, all right, we have like 9 minutes left. Let's do a speed round. Show what you got in a rapid fashion.
Yeah, I just have one left, and I'll show this record because it's a great record. I feel like Daryl, you would like this record. You might be familiar with it, so I don't want to make any assessments. But a lot of people don't talk about this band. Call them, fathers of progressive metal. This even predates Dream Theater, although they're really more of just like a really great American heavy metal band that introduced some cool concepts. And that band is Queensryche and their record Operation Mindcrime, which I think is one of these records that's amazing. It's incredible. It's perfect. All of the words, but it's also important. It was a very important record for the genre, for heavy metal, all that type of stuff. This was 88, I think. Amazing concept record that goes through all types of fun stuff with the government and murder and drugs and sleep and all that fun stuff, like any other great concept record. But this is dope. Incredible record. Love it.
I don't have any of them, but Silent Lucidity is a phenomenal song.
Oh yeah, great track.
Yeah.
Music talk from John's here. He says, Yoko sucks. Fight me. I don't think anyone's going to fight you on that, John.
John, I think Yoko actually appeared as a wankerette actually on that one episode.
Yeah, I think so. John, we're talking 80s tonight, and no one has mentioned Billy Joel. So
I came close.
So there you go. John is back from, I don't know if he's back, but tonight he was in Dunedin, Florida, watching the single A affiliate of my Toronto Blue Jays. He was at a Dunedin Blue Jays game. Okay, Brian, show what you got.
All right, how about this one?
Hold on, let me supersize you. Hold on. There you go.
Debut record from Tracy Chapman from 1988. And look at this price, $11.99, marked down to $7.99.
That's an OG then.
Wow.
It is. Great. Well, it's a Canadian. It's still in the shrink. Yeah, still in the shrink.
You should rip that off.
I can't do it. It's got that price on there.
Rip it.
Everyone knows this record, right? I mean, how could you not? It came out with little fanfare, but became like a monster. And this is the record, though, that I feel in all of my collection, I would say this record is the best sounding record I own. It is that good. I mean, I guess other people have said that. I haven't heard the reissue that came out recently, but I've played this with other people in the house, and they're like, they kind of notice it. There's like, what's with this record? But it was so well recorded and so well made that it's phenomenal. And I had this on CD first, of course, and played it a lot while driving around Ontario. But I just think it's an important record too, politically and socially, and a really great record. So there you go.
Just picked up. It finally, after years, picked up an original of that this past weekend, Brian.
Oh, cool.
Nice. You got any more there, Brian?
I picked way too many, to be honest. Do you want to show another one?
If you want to show a few more, 2 or 3 more, go for it.
How about Violent Femmes? This was an important record for me back in the day, mostly because of the salacious lyrical content and some of the songs. Like, I've just added up. Hilarious, Blister in the Sun, Kiss Off, etc. Really great. I saw them in concert once, but they were surprisingly a little boring. They didn't actually say anything to the crowd. They just played the songs and walked off. It was really weird. But this got a lot of play in a club I used to hang out way back in the day with my friends. So really fun record, although they weren't fun in concert. So I enjoy that one.
If you were hanging out in a club with your friends, would that be in one of the clubs in the hometown in which I reside?
It might be.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about
then. Let me just show you one other one very quickly because it's fantastic. I mean, any record from Dada I think is really good. Infected is great, but the debut Soul Mining has my attention because I don't know the Perfect is on here. It's not on every pressing. It was added to the American and Canadian pressing, I think. But for me, the best song here is Giant. That is truly spectacular. And there is a really excellent Jules Holland piano work in Uncertain Smile, which just makes this record worth owning. I think this is fantastic. Was this 83? The first, the record, although Burning Blue Soul came up before it, but that was credited to Matt. So anyway, the fantastic. All right, someone else.
Okay, Daryl.
Okay. Well, Rob, when you picked the topic of the 80s, I went a little overboard on this one, so I'm going to quickly go through my remainder because I picked too many as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Mr. Welcome to the Real World. Although, I mean, I think the thing is kind of like, when Joe's on, he talks about Bryan Adams. I think Broken Wings was just too overplayed. My favorite song by them is definitely Kyrie. It's a great track. So yeah, Welcome to the Real World, amazing album.
And important, on the trivia fun fact is that record features the great Pat Mescalado on drums, who which is wild because he's been King Crimson in sort of their incarnation over the last since the early 2000s or the 90s, maybe one of their three drummers when they play live. And I got a chance to meet him actually at a show last year with the Stickmen. So yeah, it blows my mind that he's on that record.
Yeah.
My favorite Madonna album is True Blue. I know not everybody's a Madonna fan, but I think once you get past 1996, I don't know what happened to Madonna.
So. Neither does she.
Waterfront, nobody shows this, but this is like one of them New Kids on the Block boy bands. I think they're from the UK, maybe. Anyway, they did they're a one-hit wonder band, but they did a song called Cry. Neat stuff, but yeah, Waterfront never gets shown. My favorite member of Ace and Mike and the Mechanics, Paul Carrack. Great track. This is One Good Reason, which is my favorite Carrack album. I think it has Don't Shed a Tear, which is a great song. I think that's that. Okay, and then we'll do a couple of what's that?
I've seen him in concert.
Nice. Then we'll do a couple of Canadian ones, and then I'll be done. All right, so can't go wrong with Zappa Costa. Nothing can stand in your way. This is the A to Z album, or Z, depending on how you want to say it.
Zed.
Only one right way, Zed.
Couldn't do this without talking about my buddy Gino Vanelli. And this is the Big Dreamers Never Sleep. This is the one that has Wild Horses on it, which is my favorite Vanelli song. And then I cheated because I didn't want to talk about the other two albums because I talk about them way too much. But I couldn't do this without showing Glass Tiger.
There you go. We were
this
waiting
is from 1990, so I cheated.
Okay.
But it's a great album. This is the Simple Mission one. It's got Blinded, Animal Heart, Rhythm of Your Love, My Town. My Town's the one that has Rod Stewart in it, which is amazing.
I think you can get by with that. It was probably recorded in 1989 and released in 1999. So we'll go with it. We'll give you a grace period. Before I go here, John's giving us shit because Billy Joel owned the 80s. Glass Houses, Beef Curtain, Innocent Man, The Bridge Sun, Stormfront. Come on now. Sorry, man. I guess none of us have any Billy Joel. It wasn't a personal slight against you, man. We love you. Elvis Costello owned the 80s for Scott. No mention of the Smiths. Well, listen, we're 4 guys, and we have 2 hours. We can't mention every band from the 80s.
I had them on my list, but I feel like I mention them too often.
Fair enough. Brian, welcome from Tokyo. You may have missed the whole thing, but that's the beauty of it. You can go back and watch it later when there's absolutely nothing else in the world to do. I think we have a nice panel. Well, thank you, sir. Okay, I'm going to close this thing out with my speed round. Once I supersize myself, if StreamYard will cooperate. There we go. Okay, we'll go quick on this. From 1980, I think it's 1983, Fleetwood Mac's Mirage. I think this was the last album with the full Rumors lineup. Gypsy was the big song off of here. Great song. We talked about wankers, so let's show this colossal asshole, Eric Clapton, Journeyman. I don't know, Running on Faith, I guess, was the Before You Accused Me. Both of those you did on the Unplugged. So, it is what it is. I don't know why I never talk about this band because I own a ton by them, but Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Love Joan Jett. This from 1988 has my favorite song by her, I Hate Myself for Loving You. It's a great album. 2 more here. My favorite, I'm going to take this out of the sleeve. The person that I think is the greatest female singer ever, Linda Ronstadt. Huge fan of hers up until the early 80s, and then she did that Trios album, which I have, and it's country-ish. And then she did the Mexican stuff, and that stuff doesn't interest me. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not what I want to listen to. But this came out in 1980. I think this is one of her last albums that interests me. But How Do I Make You? I Can't Let Go. Hurts So Bad. I think those were the big ones off of here. But just love some 70s, early 80s Linda Ronstadt. And we'll close this out with an awesome album from 1989, Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever. The album that was recorded in between the 2 Traveling Wilburys albums. And this is almost Wilburys Volume 2 because all of the Wilburys are on here in some capacity. But it's a really fun record. The big song, Free Fallin', which I guess you could say is probably Petty's biggest song. I Won't Back Down, Running Down a Dream. But then there's other songs in here that I love, like Zombie Zoo. It's just some goddamn.
Oh, yeah. Hanging at the Zombie Zoo.
That's right. So I love this.
Which Tom apparently despised that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this might be my favorite.
Don't write it, Tom.
Exactly. So there we go. That's it. That's it. That's all. That was fun. We'll do what we always do. We go around the horn real quick, and if you guys want to promote what's going on in your channel, if you got some out, you want folks to know about it, something you're working on, whatever. Alex, what's new over at Beer and Vinyl?
Well, was recording a video. I was going to record a video tonight, but jumped on here instead because I just love you 3 that much and everybody in the chat. So thank you. And nothing too wild going on over at Beer and Vinyl Land, but hoping to we have a long weekend here this weekend. We have Friday off too, so it'll be a good 4-day weekend, and hopefully I'll get some stuff recorded and uploaded and all that good stuff. And got a show tomorrow night seeing Government Mule.
No way.
Which is going to be great. I've never seen them, and I'm a big Warren Haynes fan. So
Me too.
Incredible.
Oh, that'll be great, man.
Yeah.
Pick up some vinyl if they have some there.
That's the plan. I'll bring all my money.
Yeah, I would too. Brian, what's new back in your world, other than you're back at home?
I am back at home, so making videos is somewhat easier. I've done actually 2 in the last 2 days. Actually, yesterday's video had a bit of highlights not highlights, had some walking through the city elements on the way to and from the baseball game. But I don't have a plan for what the next video is, so I don't know what it's going to be. Something. So we will see. I'm just sort of, I feel like I'm just getting used to being here again, although I've been here for over a month, but it just seems weird because it was out longer than that. So yeah, not much. I'm just, I did a live stream, of course, on Sunday with some of you guys. and that was fun. But that's it. I guess whatever happens, happens. I don't know.
And since you mentioned the baseball game, for those that want to know, it's the bottom of the 8th. The Jays are winning 9-8. We had a 1-run lead going into the 9th yesterday and shit the bed. So hopefully that doesn't happen again tonight.
Yes.
We'll see. What's going on with you, Daryl? What's new in your world?
Like Brian, on Sunday I was with you on Chris's stream. I had mentioned on there that I was thinking of doing my, we'll call it my Tony's video, although it's my Juno's video. We're getting into this long weekend that we have here, so I'm going to try to get a couple videos on the go, and hopefully one of them will be my Juno's video. Not sure if I'm going to do Juno winners or Juno runner-ups, but we'll see. So other than that,
Cool.
Just back to work and been a little busier than usual, so I haven't been making any videos.
Fair enough. As for myself, I have a video recorded, my thoughts on the reissue of the Beatles anthology. That'll be out Sunday. I'm only doing videos every other week now because while I still enjoy making them, it's a lot of work, and work's been busy, and it's felt a little more laborious than it should, so I've just slowed the pace a little bit. In addition to this, I've been doing Chris, the Vinyl Man, over in Wales. I've been doing his live stream fairly regularly on a Sunday afternoon, which has been a lot of fun. That's it. That's all. So thanks to my guests, Alex from Beer and Vinyl and Brian from Embryonic Robot. You know them. You love them. I don't need to point you in their direction because you already know who they are and you already watched them. But watch them again anyway. To everyone watching live tonight, thank you very much. We always enjoy interacting with all of you. And for those that are watching this later on, thanks for spending a couple hours with us. Daryl and I will be back next week. Joe will be back. We'll have a special guest, and we'll talk about something. So to that end, have a good night, everybody, and we'll catch you again soon.
See you guys.
See you later.